Identity. It is the bedrock of our existence, the sum total of our experiences, our relationships, our memories. But what happens when those memories are not your own? What happens when you wake up one day with the intimate knowledge of a life you never lived, a past that isn't yours? Tonight, we delve into a psychological horror that strikes at the very core of who we believe ourselves to be. The terrifying tale of a man who awoke with the vivid, undeniable memories of a life that wasn't his. Daniel Hayes was an ordinary man, living an ordinary life. A comfortable home, a loving wife, a stable job. His memories were his own, a tapestry woven from the threads of his personal experiences. Until one morning, he woke up, and everything had changed. The face in the mirror was his, but the thoughts in his head, the emotions stirring within him, belonged to someone else. He remembered a woman named Anya, her laughter like wind chimes, the warmth of her hand in his. But his wife was Sarah. He recalled the bustling streets of Prague, the taste of strong Czech coffee, the weight of a specific silver ring on his finger. But he had never been to Prague. He had never known an Anya. The memories were vivid, visceral, as real as his own life, yet they were undeniably foreign, an intrusion into the established narrative of his existence. The initial shock gave way to a gnawing confusion, then a creeping terror. Was he going insane? Was this some kind of elaborate delusion? He clung to the familiar, to Sarah's worried face, to the comforting normalcy of their home. But the foreign memories persisted, insistent and overwhelming, threatening to drown out the life he had always known. He started to speak of Anya, of Prague, of events that had never happened in his reality. Sarah, understandably, grew increasingly concerned. She attributed it to stress, to a possible mental breakdown. But Daniel knew, with a chilling certainty, that this was more than just a figment of his imagination. These memories were real, just not his. The memories were not random fragments. They were coherent, detailed snapshots of another man's life. He knew Anya's favorite flower, lilac, the name of her childhood dog, Boris, the street where they had first met, Karlova. He remembered the layout of their apartment, the arguments they had, the dreams they shared. It was a complete, fully realized past that had somehow been grafted onto his own consciousness. Desperate for answers, Daniel sought medical help. Neurologists and psychiatrists ran a battery of tests, searching for any physical or psychological explanation for his condition. Scans revealed no abnormalities in his brain. Psychological evaluations ruled out typical forms of amnesia or psychosis. The medical community was baffled. As the days turned into weeks, Daniel found himself increasingly drawn to the foreign memories. Anya felt more real to him than Sarah at times. Prague held a strange allure, a sense of longing for a place he had never seen. He started to act differently, his personality subtly shifting to align with the man whose memories now haunted him. He found himself speaking Czech phrases he didn't know he knew, craving foods he had never tasted before. The line between Daniel Hayes and the unknown man whose life now echoed within him began to blur. He would catch his reflection and see his own face, but the thoughts behind his eyes felt alien, the emotions stirring in his heart belonging to another soul. He was a stranger in his own skin, a prisoner of memories that were not his own. Driven by a desperate need to understand the origin of these implanted memories, Daniel started to research anything that might explain such a phenomenon. He delved into obscure neurological studies, fringe theories about consciousness transfer, and even ancient folklore about soul swapping and reincarnation. The more he researched, the more unsettling the possibilities became. One theory, however far-fetched, resonated with a chilling familiarity. It spoke of individuals with a rare genetic anomaly that allowed them to, in moments of extreme trauma or near-death experience, absorb the memories of another dying consciousness in close proximity. Daniel had been in a minor car accident a few weeks before the memories began. Could it be possible that in that fleeting moment, his mind had somehow become a vessel for another man's dying thoughts, his life essence? The thought was both terrifying and strangely compelling. If it were true, who was this man whose life now intertwined with his own? What had happened to him? And why had his memories chosen Daniel as their final resting place? Guided by the vivid recollections of Prague, Daniel felt an irresistible urge to travel there. It was as if the memories themselves were pulling him, a magnetic force drawing him towards a past that wasn't his own. Sarah, fearing for his sanity, reluctantly agreed to accompany him, hoping that confronting the source of his obsession might somehow bring him back to himself. Prague was both familiar and alien to Daniel. He knew the names of the streets, the locations of hidden courtyards, the best place to get Tridelnik. Yet, he experienced it all through the detached lens of a tourist, a visitor in a city his mind claimed as home. Following the fragmented clues within the memories, they found the apartment. It was small, charming, with a balcony overlooking a quiet square. As Daniel stepped inside, a wave of intense emotion washed over him, a profound sense of longing, of belonging, mixed with an overwhelming sadness. This was Anya's home. His home, in another life. In the apartment, they found photographs, images of a man who looked vaguely familiar, his eyes holding a hint of the same melancholic longing that now haunted Daniel. The man was with a beautiful woman, Anya. Seeing their faces together sent a jolt through Daniel, a visceral recognition that transcended logic. They also found a journal, its pages filled with elegant handwriting in a language Daniel instinctively understood was Czech. Sarah, with the help of a local translator, began to read aloud the entries, piecing together the life of the man whose memories now resided within Daniel. His name was Tomas. He was an artist, a dreamer, deeply in love with Anya. The journal entries revealed a life filled with passion and beauty, but also with a growing darkness. Tomas wrote of a debilitating illness, a rare neurological condition that was slowly stealing his memories, his very sense of self. He spoke of his fear of forgetting Anya, of his desperate desire to leave some part of himself behind. The final entries were fragmented and filled with despair. Tomas knew his time was short. He wrote of a strange encounter, a near-death experience during a sudden blackout. He described a fleeting connection with another consciousness, a sense of his memories, his very essence, reaching out, seeking a new vessel. The chilling truth began to dawn on Daniel. He wasn't just experiencing Tomas's memories. He was carrying a part of Tomas's consciousness, a fragment of his soul that had somehow found refuge within him in the final moments of his life. The car accident Daniel had been in had occurred at roughly the same time Tomas had succumbed to his illness in Prague. A desperate, transcontinental transfer of memories, a final act of preservation by a dying mind. The weight of this realization was immense. Daniel was no longer just Daniel Hayes. He was a composite being, his own life intertwined with the lingering essence of a stranger. The love he felt for Sarah was now mingled with the phantom ache for Anya. His own memories were now colored by the vibrant hues of Tomas's past. He returned home a changed man. The foreign memories no longer felt like an intrusion, but an integral part of who he was becoming. He honored Tomas's life, learning more about his art, his passions, his love for Anya. He carried his story within him, a silent testament to a connection that transcended death and distance. But a lingering question remained. If memories could be transferred in such a way, what else might be possible? What other fragments of lost souls might be floating out there, seeking a new home in unsuspecting minds? And what happens when the boundaries of our own identities become so porous, so vulnerable to the echoes of lives we never lived? Daniel Hayes continued his life, forever marked by the memories of a life that wasn't his. He was a living testament to the mysteries of consciousness, a chilling reminder that the self we hold so dear might be more fluid, more permeable than we ever imagined, capable of being touched, even inhabited, by the lingering echoes of another soul. What would you do if you woke up with the memories of another life? Could our consciousness be more interconnected than we realize? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. If this unsettling exploration of identity and memory has intrigued you, be sure to subscribe for more thought-provoking horror that delves into the deepest fears of the human psyche. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss our next journey into the unknown realms of the mind.